To where does the ship of Lifechanyuan sail? Xiefeng. October 4, 2007. Translation edited by Kayer. Without specific directions and clear goals, people will inevitably spin around in circles. Life can only reincarnate on the spot. People who want to go everywhere at the same time can only remain put, because we cannot walk to New York, Tokyo, London, and Johannesburg at the same time. Imagine a ship sailing on the vast ocean. What would it be like if it had no direction or destination? It could only drift along and sail aimlessly. Human lives without directions and goals are perplexed ones. A life with neither a direction nor a goal is a lost one. But just having a direction is not enough because there are lots of stops along the same path. If there is no clear destination, then we will also get lost among boundless, endless distractions. Every ship has its own direction and goal. When we board any ship, we must be clear on where our boat is heading. Some ships might be fishing boats that will retrace their routes each time they go out to catch fish. Some might be cruise ships that will take us back to where we began after visiting exotic ports. Some might be pirate ships that will anchor in secret places to rob other ships. Some might be expedition ships that are not clear about their destinations but just want to explore what is out there. Frozen icebergs or raging volcanic islands, they merely explore for exploration's sake. Then, to where does the ship of Lifechanyuan sail? The ship of Lifechanyuan will initiate the Lifechanyuan era and then sail toward the Elysium Celestial Islands continent, making 2 stops along the way, the 1,000-year world and the 10,000-year world. Why does it make these 2 stops on its way to Elysium? Because this is a ship of life and also a ship that will never return. Everyone on this ship must have a place to go, and although the destination of this ship is Celestial Islands continent, not all passengers will be ready for it. The vast majority of lives must depart at the 1,000-year world, fewer at the 10,000-year world, and only a very small number can hope to reach the Celestial Islands continent on their first voyage. Presently, none of those aboard the ship of Lifechanyuan can reach the Celestial Islands continent, and very few can reach the 10,000-year world, but the overwhelming majority will narrowly meet the standards of the 1,000-year world and will be the first to depart from the ship. Of course, this is not the final conclusion because we are still sublimating and making progress. Maybe we can break through the 0 point and make a qualitative leap overnight. In this case, there will be many more lives that can reach the 10,000-year world and perhaps even the Celestial Islands continent. You must board the ship of Lifechanyuan in your heart, but not in your body, name, or symbol. If your name is on the ship's manifest but your heart is not on board, then you will not board the ship. In such a case, you should not complain about having been cheated by the ship because you will have cheated yourself. You never really boarded this ship. It could be said that you are seemingly on board the ship but are actually still on the shore. You are waiting to sea, watching the wind direction, weighing pros and cons, and choosing your plan. The ship of Lifechanyuan will reach its destination on time, according to the universe's life adjustment schedule. No matter how many lives will be on board the ship, whether there are millions or 0, this ship has to sail from the human world to heaven according to its schedule and program. To all those who want to go to heaven to escape the world's catastrophe, the ship of Lifechanyuan is at your door to pick you up. Whether you take it or not depends on your own will. You cannot blame any gods or deities, and there is no reason for you to cry or complain outside the pearly gates of heaven. Those who are waiting for another birth of the Buddha or the second coming of Jesus should reconsider. What kind of Buddha or Jesus are you waiting for? Will you see them with your eyes or with your heart? Understand them with your brain or with your heart? And will you express your joy with your mouth or with your heart? In short, the ship of life has been to the earth and has passed your door.
生命禅院自白上帝面前人人平等。
Confessions of Lifechanyuan. Everyone is equal before the greatest creator. Xiefeng and Translation edited by Kayer. Kayer. The psychic energy of the greatest creator is Tao, and it treats everyone and everything equally without giving preference to any individuals or species. Whether individuals succeed in their careers, whether families are harmonious and happy, whether countries are prosperous, and whether people are peaceful and tranquil all depend on whether we follow Tao's operation. If one follows it, they will prosper, otherwise they will perish. Blessing or bane, it is all up to them. There are no gates to fortune or misfortune. Your karma is yours. Lifechanyuan was born at the end of the 5th year of the sun, and is the last call from gods and Buddhas to people. Lifechanyuan believes that the greatest creator dominates the universe, that gods and Buddhas are messengers of the greatest creator, and that humans are these gods and Buddhas' favorite children. The universe and life are one, they coexist, and neither can exist without the other. The greatest creator has laid out 36 mazes throughout the vast universe, and everyone's life can have an infinitely beautiful future. Innocent Christians have the 1,000-year world, Taoists with high morals have the 10,000-year world, and Buddhists who reach the non-form state can enter into the Elysium world directly. Whether one can enter the upper life space or not depends on whether they can decode the greatest creator's mazes. The differences between people does not lie in their levels of status and wealth, but in their spiritual purity. The greater their purity, the truer their belief and the more developed their thinking will be. The lesser their purity, the falser their belief and the more obsessed their thinking will be. In human society, the spirituality of celestial beings, saints, sages and philosophers is pure and high, and they are the people with the greatest wisdom. People have to possess 3 minimum conditions to survive in this world. To love the greatest creator. To love nature. To love each other. Without these 3 conditions, people are not qualified to live in the homeland created by the greatest creator. Lifechanyuan believes firmly that most people are currently clinging onto the edge of a cliff, and may fall into an abyss at any unguarded moment. These people need to understand their purpose for existing on the earth, where they are from, and where they want to go. It took billions of years for the greatest creator, gods and Buddhas, to create such a beautiful homeland for us, and since then there have been many people and civilizations on the earth. However, since people have succeeded in making this homeland filthy in just a few thousand years, the greatest creator has sent messengers to us in order to enlighten us repeatedly, but most people are still obsessive and ignorant of the greatest creator. People's wisdom was originally sufficient to manage themselves. However, more and more people have become ignorant of the greatest creator, lost their connections with nature, and made a mess of our world. More than that, people have adopted hostile attitudes toward each other, fought with each other and even killed each other. They fight covertly and overtly even among brothers and sisters, friends and neighbors, colleagues and classmates, husbands and wives, and parents and children. Current human civilization is heading for destruction. It is necessary for them to reflect thoroughly on their future. Lifechanyuan has sounded the alarm for humankind in a way that is a lively concerto for some but a death dirge for others. Whether one hears light music or mourning depends entirely on their spirituality. Lifechanyuan also believes that no natural or ecological disasters are caused by the greatest creator, gods or Buddhas, but rather by people's bad consciousnesses and conduct. The illnesses of people's bodies are not caused by nature but by the imperfections of their minds and spirits. The problems of ecological collapses are not simply systemic but also problems of humanity and spirituality. The many dilemmas and natural and man-made disasters that humankind currently faces can only be understood from the perspective of humanity and spirituality. There are differences in spirituality among people. The deeper their involvement in secular society becomes, the easier it is for their spirituality to be deceived. One can easily go astray if they practice blindly instead of following the great Tao. Lifechanyuan is the spiritual homeland of human beings. It comes to the world with the heart of Christ and Bodhisattva, and the great love and compassion of the greatest creator, gods and Buddhas in order to spread the way of the greatest creator. This homeland contains the wisdom of mankind, spreads its hope, and is willing to become the mind relay station for everyone, leading to a beautiful future. Lifechanyuan also purports that people are currently faced with much confusion and many insoluble puzzles of life and the universe. Neither science nor religion can provide anyone with complete answers. Christianity understands the source of life but cannot see the ocean to where it flows. Buddhism knows the ocean to where life flows, but not its source. People in religious circles have spiritual perception but often lack rationality. People in scientific circles have rationality but often lack spiritual perception. Only those with great wisdom have both spiritual perception and rationality. Among humans, only celestial beings, saints, sages, and wise people have both spiritual perception and rationality. These are people of great wisdom who understand that the microworld and the macro-universe each lead to each other. The acmes of the microworld exist neither in the form of elementary particles nor in those of strings or superstrings, but operate in the form of the non-material. Therefore, they are people who can perceive the greatest creator in the depths of the microworld. As a result, in the human world, only celestial beings, saints, sages, and wise people know both the source of life and the ocean to where it flows. Lifechanyuan believes that autocratic dictatorships are disastrous for civil society, but that liberal democracies are not cure-alls either. It is only by following the way of the greatest creator that people can bid farewell to hunger, illness, plagues, crime, natural disasters, violence, and wars, and ensure forever that mankind will move toward natural harmony, peace, freedom, health, and happiness. It is only this system that can see that mankind manages themselves and the existing planet which they depend on well, including the Earth's environment and all lives on it, and to realize the harmony among people and between people and nature in order to know that we will all have bright futures. Lifechanyuan believes that everyone's present is caused by their past, and it will only be when we understand this that we will enjoy peace and wisdom, will stop blaming heaven and earth, society, and others, and will find directions to the right path. In order to have beautiful and happy futures, we need to think calmly and never vent hatred without any reason or show ignorance and shallowness for the sake of temporary gains, losses, self-interests, and grievances. In order for people to enjoy beautiful and happy futures, we need to build true faith. Side. All roots of evil and illness today are the results of our lacking real faith. We have yet to establish the highest of all goals, the highest of all principles, the highest of all faiths, or the ultimate of all standards. Without an ultimate goal, how do we choose any specific way of life? Without a highest principle, how do we set up a specific principle and stick to it without turning back? Without a highest belief and an ultimate standard, how do we judge, think, and act? Without any of these, how could our lives not be blind, empty, and absurd? For a happy future, we need to cast a new kind of humanity.
D.H. Laurence Advocated.
In order to survive, we need to work together to integrate all human cognitions into a whole. We must work hard to combine all knowledge and all languages into a huge and refreshing symphony. All humanity must be cast into the furnace so as to obtain a new humanity, remembering that our collective needs are not personal ones, not the needs of any of us. What we need is not the honor or self-satisfaction, but a huge driving force of one mind from which we can create a great society and a free nation that includes individual freedoms. Individuals cannot create new nations, those things depend on all of us. To achieve this goal, we must join hands and work together. At that time, more people will use their hands to break free from their shackles until all their chains are broken. In order for humankind to have a beautiful and happy future, we must give up our prejudices and obsessions, extinguish our flames of jealousy, selfishness, anger, and hatred, and illuminate the beacons of sincerity, bravery, benevolence, and generosity in our hearts. We must open our minds, escape from our fogs, make new friends, accommodate new consciousnesses, spread new ideas, and embrace new lives. Lifechanyuan believes that people are on the eve of a great change unseen in 1,000 years. An era of turmoil, one of great changes and great transitions, one calling for sages and wise people, and one of exploring and pursuing infinite space and time. The clouds in the sky do not come from nowhere, and Lifechanyuan has not come from nothingness. The birth of Lifechanyuan is a demonstration of the universe's mysteries and secrets, and is an inevitable development of spirituality and wisdom. People must believe in the greatest creator, revere gods and Buddha, and respect all life, whether they be celestial beings, saints, sages, wise persons, ordinary laity, dull persons, emperors, commoners, those who are elite or popular, whether they are rich, poor, Christian, Buddhist, Muslim, Taoist, Jehovah's Witness, Falun Gong, Krishna Consciousness Movement, Communist Party members, free people or prisoners, people or livestock, birds, animals, fish, insects, flowers, plants, or whatever. They must all be respected and cherished. The great contour is shapeless and the supreme wisdom is boundless. Without supreme wisdom, one cannot understand the way of the greatest creator. Lifechanyuan hopes that all celestial beings, saints, sages, and wise people in the mortal world will experience the profundity of the way of the greatest creator, have a home in Lifechanyuan, and use their spirituality and wisdom to pull everyone out of the sea of suffering to reach the far-off shore of salvation. Lifechanyuan hopes that every disciple who seeks the greatest creator, believes in Christ and admires gods, Buddhas, celestial beings, and Taoists, whether they are Christians, Buddhists, Muslims, Taoists, Jehovah's Witnesses, the Falun Gong, members of Krishna Consciousness Movement, or others, can obtain enlightenment and new life from Lifechanyuan. Those who are busy all day long for career in life, whether you are exalted as a king or low as a commoner, wealthy or poor, highly talented or illiterate, a celebrity, an official, a white-collar worker, a wandering migrant worker, a communist, a democratic patriot, a free man, or a prisoner of sin, the greatest creator cares about you and watches you. Since before 2013, the doors of Lifechanyuan have remained open to you at all times, and we look forward to your arrival at any time. May you open your hearts before the greatest creator, gods, and Buddha, that you might receive enlightenment and gain new life from Lifechanyuan. May the greatest creator grant psychic energy to you, and may gods and Buddha bless you. The greatest creator resides with us, and gods and Buddha rest within us. Let us walk together with the wise and run into a future that is full of vitality, freedom, peace, harmony, and beauty, yet still mysterious.